Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motor Chaos. This is yours, Dave. I got line special guest, Earth Flight Jet Dragster driver, Mark Stevens. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. So, how's the jet
Good.
been running for you this year so far?
Been running great. We've made all our passes this year, and everything's been going good.
That's good to hear. So, what's your next event coming up?
We'll be running Boise in about 3 weeks, and I'll be on the road for about a month. We'll go to Boise, then to Canada, then to Spokane, and then back up to Canada. And then we'll be home for a week or two, and then we'll go to Sacramento.
So
that should finish out our season.
So, how many events have you done so far this year?
We've done probably 6 events this year.
All right, now.
So far.
Okay, now let me go backwards in time and ask you, how did you get into drag racing, and what year did you start getting into drag racing?
I started jet racing when I was 15 years old back in 1981. And my dad bought the 34th Green Monster from Craig Arfon's 280ZX Datsun bodied jet funny car. And that's when I learned how to drive, and drove that after getting my license in that, and started then, and just stuck with it all these years.
Wow. So what year were you licensed?
I believe it was 81, 82 area, somewhere in there. I was like 15 years old when I got licensed. It was a rarity that I was able to do that. John Keeling was in charge of the jet program at that time, and we were in Elkhart, Indiana. There was a bunch of guys there that were updating their licenses, and we were licensing another driver at the time. And some of the guys were having some issues with their cars, so I asked my dad to go ask John if I could get my license. And John and him talked a little bit, and my dad come over and asked me why I wasn't in the car yet. I jumped in the car, and he towed me down to the starting. And back at that time, we only had to make 3 passes down the track, and if John liked what he saw, he would sign us off and give us a license.
So he liked what he saw, huh?
He liked what he saw, yeah. Everything was nice and straight, and I did exactly what he told me to do, and he signed off my license then, and things were good, and we left right away and headed for Englishtown, New Jersey, and a friend of ours, he also licensed at the same time, and we let him run that race, and then I believe that was about the end of the season, and we went home and regrouped with everything for the winter, and then that next summer I started driving full-time with my dad, and we traveled all over from coast to coast and border to border.
So how many years did you drive that Craig Arfon's car for?
Oh geez, now you're making me think. We he bought it in 81, and I believe, oh gosh, we had the car. We went from the Datsun body to a 83 Corvette body. Ran that for a couple of years, and then we built a pickup truck body and ran that. And that was from what I understand, that was the first jet-powered pickup truck at NHR.
Wow.
Funny car rules. And we ran that, and that was a short-lived deal. I think it was in 87 when we were up in Canada, and the fitting broke and caught the car on fire and destroyed the car. And so we went home and licked our wounds and got real jobs, and I saved up all my money and bought tubing and started building a dragster, and just spent a lot of years doing that and getting things, all the bugs worked out of it. Finally got it running decent enough that I could get relicensed in the jet dragster, and been doing it ever since. And I'm on my third jet dragster, I believe it is, right now. And things are going great.
So this current jet dragster, the Earth flight, how long has that one been in existence now?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said the current jet car, the Earth flight, how long has that jet been in existence?
The car I have now is 6 years old this year. Prior to that, I think the one I had was about, almost 20 years old. So, just, I build all my own stuff and run my own stuff. My wife and I run the car, and we just enjoy it. We have a good time.
So now what kind of jet engine you got on that?
We run the GE J85. I grew up with that, and that's pretty much all I know. I can tinker with some J60 stuff and some J34 stuff, but primarily just deal with the J85s.
So what kind of fuel you run on?
Most of the time we like to run Jet A. I like how it starts a little cooler than diesel fuel, and it's a little cleaner. It's not as messy.
So what's been the quickest pass you've had with this current jet?
Oh, we just ran Boise. Let's see, where were we? We ran. I think the last check we were at was Boise, and ran a high 5-second pass at, I think it was like 270, somewhere in there. We just run it easy. We don't lean on it hard at all. We don't have parts, spare parts, and so I just kind of baby it and just put on a good fire show and get down the track and put on a show for the crowd.
Yeah, you're not like Scotty Heat going 300 miles per hour all the time.
No, a lot of people don't believe it, but when I was 15 and I licensed in the Jet Funny Car, my third licensing pass was 300 miles an hour. And if John Keeling was alive today, he could tell you what it was like for me to go that fast and prove that I did it. But I've been 300. I've been 331 miles an hour in the jet car, and it's fun, but it's not something I have to do every day. We run exhibition, and we are there to put on a show for the crowd. And the guys that can go out and run that fast, more power to them, but they're burning up a lot of parts doing it. And unfortunately, some of them get hurt when they have a mishap. And the kicker is they don't get paid any more than I do. So I'm all about safety and all about putting on a good show for the crowd, and track owners are happy, and they always have us back.
Yep, that's what it's all about, the exhibition. So
exactly.
So now, jet cars are the only kind of cars you've ever drag raced in?
Yeah, other than my brother's Super Comp Altered, I drove it 1 year for high school drags back in high school. And I think at that time it was only an 11-second car, and now he's running Super Comp up here in the 940 index here in the high altitude.
All right, so now, Mark, who were, what jet drivers were inspirational to you back years ago when you started?
Oh, gosh. I really looked up to a lot of the fuel car guys, Don Garlis, Don Prudhomme, Tom McEwen, a lot of those guys. When I was young, and then when we got into the jet car stuff, obviously Craig Arfons was someone that I really admired and respected. And through the years of running, I got to know a lot of the other guys, and there's a few of them that aren't with us anymore that I respected and had a lot of appreciation for, and I just I learned a lot from everybody out there, and I just kind of pretty much just stick to myself and do my own thing, and just enjoy it. The wife and I have a lot of fun with it. We really get a kick out of all the fans, and and being able to inspire the fans from kids up to adults to follow their dream and pursue the hopes and dreams that they have, and just enjoy life. We're only here for a short time, so let's make the best of it.
Yep. So now, after all these years of doing the jet car driving, what still keeps you passionate about doing this?
The fans, just the spectators, being able to talk to the little kids all the way up to the adults and explain to them the experience that I get from driving the jet car and the thrill, and encouraging them to follow their dreams, whether they want to get into drag racing or sailboat racing or whatever they want to do. Anything that their desire is, just pursue it and enjoy it.
So if a kid came up to you in the pits and told you, "Hey, I want to be a jet car driver," what kind of advice would you give that person?
I would be encouraging to them and let them know that it's not an easy task, but if you stick with it and keep pursuing that dream, you'll get there. Just do real good in school and learn as much as you can, and if you can get into college, go that route. If not, there's nothing wrong with being a blue collar worker either. Just work hard and pursue that dream. Put your mind, set your mind to it and do it. Don't give up. Just keep pushing forward.
All right. So now, Mark, what was the experience like for you to get behind the wheel of a jet car for the first time?
Oh man, yeah, the first time, being a young teenager, thinking I know everything and whatnot. The driver that my dad had in the beginning, me what it was like, and I kind of thought he was full of BS. And first time I sat in the car and they started it, I had a whole new respect for anybody that drives a jet car. It was an eye-opener, feeling all that horsepower in the palm of your hand and in the seat of your pants. And it woke me up, and it made me realize that this is some serious business here. This is no toy. This is something serious. And I had a whole new respect for it. And it humbled me very quickly and made me realize that I'm just a human being like anybody else, and I am very thankful that I had that opportunity, and very thankful even today that I can do what I do.
All right. Now, besides your wife, Jan, how many other crew members do you have? Do you have any other crew members?
Typically, no. It's just the wife and I. Gina and I can handle it all on our own. We do have a neighbor friend of mine that I just met a year ago when we moved out here to this property that we have now and built our big shop out here. He's also a drag racer. He started out street racing, and he does drag racing on the track. And his 14-year-old daughter now is in the junior street class, and she's doing quite well up at Bannerman Speedway. So I opened it up to him and offered to him if he wanted to hang out with us this summer and go to some of the races, that he'd be more than welcome to. And he has taken us up on that, and he's learning a little bit about the jet cars and learning how to be a crew chief for me if I ever need him. The wife works a regular job, and there's times where she may not be able to get the time off of work to go to a race with me, so it's always good to have somebody close to me that I can trust, that can strap me in the car and get me to the starting line and pick me up at the top end.
All right. So now, how did the name Earthflight come about?
I'm sorry, say again?
How did the name Earthflight come about?
Well, it's kind of a sad situation. My dad was sitting at the kitchen table watching TV, and they were launching the space shuttle. And when he was trying to come up with names, and he was jotting names down, watching TV, and when the space shuttle launched and it exploded, the name Earthflight came to mind. He wrote it down, and that's what we stuck with. A lot of people question it and want to know why Earthflight. We look at it as we're on the ground and we fly when we go down the racetrack, and that's kind of where that name, why it stuck, is we fly on the ground, not in the air.
Right. Now, for you, do you have any pre-run rituals or superstitions?
Not really any superstitions. When we get to the track, actually before we get to the track, the wife and I pray that we have a safe trip getting to where we need to go, and we get there without any incidences and any mishaps or anything. And when we get to the track, we get the car out, fuel it, pack the chutes, bleed the system out, and we're ready to go. And a lot of times I'll be sitting in the staging lanes in the car or at the water box getting ready to start, and I'll say a little prayer just to ask for a good, safe run and that the car starts and everything goes well. But other than that, no real superstitions or anything.
All right, now, do you have any sponsors currently for the jet?
We are sponsored by Lucas Oil Products. I have several other sponsors. I'm trying to remember them all now. I've got Custom Concepts Fabrication, SRA Photos. It's a local photographer at the racetrack at Bandimere Speedway. My own welding business sponsors us, SCS Welding and Fabrication. And I know I'm missing. There's other companies out there that are on board with us. Porch Electric, the gentleman that my wife's cousin that did the electrical for our building, being in construction, the guy that built the building for us. Just anybody, any little thing helps. I've got Max Torque Diesel Performance. Rob and Don, they own the shop, and they work on Dodge Cummins diesel engines and trucks, and he does a lot of my oil changes and maintenance for me on my Dodge as well as my International, and that's been a lifesaver for me at times. I look at it this way: if I don't have to pull $100 out of my pocket to change the oil in my Dodge, that just saved me a lot of money right there. I use Lucas Oil Products, and then Rob will do the work for me. And on the big truck, it could be a $500 bill to change the oil on that one. So I'm very thankful for Lucas Oil Products and Max Torque Diesel Performance for those services and products that they provide for us. And all the other sponsors that we have that help us out. We've got Spirit of Flight Museum out of Erie, Colorado. We do a lot of stuff there with Gordon Page and of building a new facility at the Jefferson County Airport. And he's got a wonderful museum there for World War II history and all that for airspace and stuff. So it's a pretty neat deal. We got a lot of neat people involved, and we're always looking for other sponsors and trying to get other people involved in our racing program. And our thing is to promote their product or services that they provide, and we can do a lot of different things with them, and as far as handouts and pictures and promotional stuff that way.
All right, so if there's anyone listening that wants to be a sponsor, there you go.
Yeah. All the more we can get, the better. Yes, it makes it a lot easier for us to do what we do. There's a lot of people don't understand about how much maintenance and repairs and everything that goes into a race team operation. And, most people don't see what goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
And there's a lot of work, a lot of hours go into doing stuff, just to keep everything maintained and looking nice and operating properly.
So, Mark, what goes into preparation to get the jet ready for a weekend?
Oh my gosh, we can pull the car out into the shop and put it up on stands and just check everything from front to back, every nut, bolt, washer, every electrical connection, bearings, brake pads, fuel lines, brake lines. We just check everything. Clean it, wipe it down, get the dust off. If we have an oil leak or a fuel leak, we do our best to correct that and prevent that from happening. These jet engines that we run are surplus and they're quite old, and some of the parts are hard to find for them, so we have to kind of makeshift seals or gaskets or whatever we need to do to prevent the leaks in them. And with our car, I try and maintain it as to the best of my knowledge and ability, and what parts I have, and keep it nice and clean. And once the car's done, then we deal with the trailer, keeping it clean, checking the brakes and wheel bearings on it. So we try and prevent having a wheel bearing failure out on the highway. Maintain the tires and all that. Same with the truck. Constant oil changes, transmission fluid changes, grease all the U-joints and rod ends and everything on it. Check the wheel bearings, make sure everything's tight. Just to keep everything as safe as possible and maintain it as much as we can, so that when a track books us in to do a show, we do everything we can in our power to make sure we get there and we can put on a good show for the track and the fans that are there.
Now, do you ever do any shows at airports?
We do. We were fortunate enough about 8 years ago now to have been sponsored by a company called Redstone College, which was an aviation school in the Denver metro area, and had them for 6 years. And through them, we were able to get involved in some air show stuff, and that was a lot of fun. The company was bought out by Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology, and at the time of the buyout and the different things that go on in those big corporation purchases, they found that it wasn't in their budget at the time to continue with the race car program. So we are on our own now, other than Lucas Oil and all the other sponsors that we have. So the air shows are a lot of fun. It's just a little hard to get into those unless you have a connection like that.
So now, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
Bandimere Speedway, of course. That's my home track. I call it a world-class track, probably one of the top 5 tracks that are out there that I've been to anyway. We pretty much any track I go to, I enjoy, because the people are nice. The track owners and operators have always been good to us. I think, when Salt Lake was open, we'd go there and run 2-3 times a year there, and really enjoyed that. It's just too bad they closed that down last year, and I think Bandimere's my favorite, and all the rest of them are right behind it. It's just some are better than others as far as track surface or shutdown area, but it's I just deal with what's there and make the best of it, put on the best show I can for the fans.
Now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
I've purchased all my stuff through Simpson Safety, Stroud, and Crow.
What would you consider to be some of the milestones of your jet racing career so far?
I have a lot of track owners that call me quite often to come in and do a show for them, even if they've booked in other cars. I understand it's business. A lot of the fans don't want to see the same car every year. And so some of the tracks that we run, they don't book us in 1 year or for 2 or 3 years. And they'll book in other cars. And when those other cars may have a problem, they can't make it, the track always calls me to see if I'm available. And if I am, I go in and run for them. No big deal. It's business. And so I don't hold grudges with any of the racetracks for not booking me in when they used to or whatever. I understand the business, and it's not the end of the world if I don't get booked in somewhere. There's always another track to go to somewhere. So I kind of like the idea that the tracks appreciate how I handle my business and how I do things that way. And I guess the other thing is that I build jet cars. I've built quite a few of them that are out there. I take a lot of pride in my work and what I do, and I always try to provide the customer with a first-class, best of the equipment that's available car. And when they go out the door, they're show quality looking cars, and they perform well, and I enjoy building them as well as driving them.
So how many accidents have you had throughout your career so far?
Oh, I think I've done 20 jet cars, and I helped a buddy of mine build a couple Pro Mod cars. Yeah, it don't seem like a lot, but there's not a lot of demand for jet cars. But I put a lot of time and effort into them and make them the best that I can, and know that they're 100% to the rules and safe. And any of them that I build, I would climb in it in a heartbeat and take it down the track. I don't have a problem with it.
Now, throughout your jet driving career, how many accidents have you had on the track?
I've had 0 accidents, knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
I have not had no accidents in my career of racing. The only one that we had was that fuel line that broke, and it caught the car on fire and destroyed it. Other than that, no accidents.
Now, we're going to hit some fun questions now before we close out. Ready for a few fun questions here, Mark?
Sure.
Besides jet car racing, you have any other hobbies?
Not really. I mean, I like to shoot guns once in a while. I'll go to like dinner playhouses once in a while. I don't know. I don't do a whole lot. The racing has been my life. That's pretty much what I do is racing. And I'm interested. I do have interests in other stuff, but nothing's a major interest or a priority. Out here where we live out in the country, we've got an oval track at the fairgrounds. We'll go out there and watch the guys run their stock cars and stuff around the dirt track. And just yesterday, we were out watching the tractor pulls out there at the fairgrounds, or actually Thursday night it was, I guess, and watching tractor pulling and stuff. So, yeah, just kind of easy, laid back country living, country lifestyle. It's very peaceful out here, and I just pretty much deal with race cars.
All right, now
that's my passion.
Can you think of one most embarrassing moment you have out on the track?
Oh yeah, I can remember one at Bandimere Speedway. I was up helping some gentlemen with their jet car, and it was an 85 car, and probably 20,000-30,000 people in the stands, and the jet car stalled, and the parachute came out right off the starting line, and
oh no!
I took off running after it to get the chute off the tailpipe, and I tripped and fell in front of 30,000 people. So that was a pretty embarrassing moment.
Oh man.
But you know, it is what it is. We're all human. We all have make mistakes. You know.
Yeah. Was it? Did anyone catch it on video?
Oh, I'm sure somebody did. I haven't seen any, but I'm sure somebody did. I could hear the crowd cheering and clapping, and yeah, it was pretty embarrassing.
You were okay though, right?
Oh yeah. No big deal.
Now, Mark, if you were able to do time traveling and go backwards in time, would you do anything differently with the jet career?
Yeah, I would. I would pay more attention to how the jet business operated back in the day, and learn more about it. I think, and probably get more involved in other aspects of racing other than just the jet cars. And you know, probably try and pursue sponsorships a little harder. You know, it's very difficult for jet cars to get big sponsors because you know, we run a lot of exhibition stuff, and there's no real TV time that we can guarantee a company. But we can reach the spectators with other venues of advertising, other forms of advertising at the track, and while we're traveling down the highway with our rig lettered up as a traveling billboard. And you know, we're willing to you know, do special displays and different things for the companies, and just do what we can to promote their company as much as we can, and go that route, you know. But, yeah, I guess just learn more about the business at a younger age and pay more attention to how things worked. I lost my dad in 2000, and from that point on, it's been a little tough. Trying to remember a lot of the information that's needed to tune a car or run a car or something that way. So paying a little more attention when I was younger probably would have been a bonus.
Now, I know the jet car racing exhibition, not, you know, competing, but when you do, you know, line up with somebody, is there any other jet drivers that you sometimes want to beat when you're on the line with them?
No, you know, I look at it this way. We are exhibition. We're there to put on a show for the crowd. So I don't care if I'm the first to the finish line or the last to the finish line. As long as we put on a good line show and we're pretty even going down the track, you know, it looks good for the fans, and they're happy. They like the show that they're there to see, and I just have a lot of fun with it. I'm not that competitive like a lot of racers are. You know, every pass I make that's successful, I'm a winner. It doesn't matter if I'm the first one to the finish line or not.
Now, with the fire show and the run, how many gallons of fuel do you burn up?
We'll burn up almost 30 gallons in one pass.
All right, now here's a easy fun question for you. What's your favorite food you'd like to eat?
Oh gosh, my favorite food. Anything my wife cooks for me. She's one heck of a cook, man. It's hard to say what my favorite is. I love chocolate. Gosh, man.
So there's not one dish your wife makes. I know you said they're all good, but there's not one that stands out like your favorite out of all of them.
No, because man, she's one hell of a cook, man. I love everything she makes is delicious. You know, the other night she made stuffed bell peppers, and I thought, I'll eat something else. I don't like those. I tried one of hers. I ended up eating 2.5 of them. They're just delicious. Yeah. I don't really have anything, one specific thing.
Well, you know the saying, Mark. The weight of the man's heart through the stomach. There you go. She's got your heart, huh?
She's got me. Yeah.
What's your favorite beverage?
My favorite beverage? Um, oh, geez, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. I don't really like plain water. I like to use Squencher in my water. It's something similar to Gatorade. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite that I can think of.
All right. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, jeez. This is gonna sound kind of odd, but The Notebook is something that I like that movie. It's got a lot of meaning to it.
Yeah. Now, what's your favorite music?
Oh, I listen to all kinds of music. I don't really have a favorite. I listen to everything from rock to country to rap to uh, classic. I just listen to all of it. No real favorite.
Now, when you were growing up as a kid, did you have a favorite cartoon?
Did I have a favorite what?
Cartoon.
Oh well, when I was a kid, the cartoons were Roadrunner and Tweety Bird and
Bugs
all
Bunny.
those old ones. Bugs Bunny, yeah, those were the good cartoons. Some of that stuff they have today, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some very odd cartoons out there.
All right. When you're at the track for a day of racing, do you eat regularly, or do you eat very light, or do you don't eat at all till after the races are done?
I typically will eat um, maybe at lunchtime, just a little bit, but after that, I will not eat until after the race is over. For some reason, when I eat later than that and get in the car, it tends to want to come up, and I've not had to clean my helmet out yet, and I hope I don't ever have to.
Yeah, that wouldn't be pretty.
No, it would not.
All right, now, Mark, what's been the fondest memory of your jet driving career?
Oh, jeez. Um, Gosh, making me think here. My fondest memory of jet car driving. I think when I've had some close calls, I think the thing that stands out the most for me is not panicking and just riding it out and coming to a safe stop. It's tough. It's kind of hard to say. Actually, there is another thing that just came to mind. We were in Grand Junction last weekend, and there's a little boy there. He's about 9 years old now, I think. And he, at 7, developed monkey grip bungee cords. And he gave us a set of those bungee cords in Salt Lake. And last weekend in Grand Junction, he came over and gave me a little sticker for his company, for his bungee cords. And I put it on the race car. And his mom and dad, they took a picture of it, and they took it over and showed their dad, Grandpa, the decal on my jet car. And it just made their day. And it made my day to see that little kid that happy. A little entrepreneur, 7 years old, came up with this idea, and they developed this bungee cord. It's an adjustable bungee cord, and it is probably the most awesomest thing I've ever seen as far as bungee cords go. And just really proud of that little guy doing that and pursuing that, his dream, and making it a success. And you can find those bungee cords at Walmart and Amazon already. And
Wow.
I just wish him all the best of luck with that deal, and hopefully he can do very well with that and come up with some other ideas and put them out to market. Just a neat little kid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, very proud of him. Very neat deal.
So now, Mark, for people to follow you, like where you're going to be at for the rest of this, what's the best way to Earth Flight Jack Dragster page on Facebook?
Yeah, they can look us up on Earthflight Jet Dragster. We're on Facebook there, and I think our old schedule's still on there. We have to get caught up on that and get our new schedule on there. But yeah, they can follow us there, and they can follow me on regular Facebook. Mark Stevens. So.
All right. Well, Mark, I want to thank you very much for taking time with me to do an interview tonight.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's
I
been
hope you
my
had
pleasure.
hope you had fun.
Oh, definitely. We always have fun doing what we do, man. We're very blessed and very thankful that we're in a position where we can do this. And I just want to wish that everybody else out there that has a dream, just follow it, keep pushing for it, make it happen.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Mark, and I hope you have a great night. And I wish you the best of luck with the rest of the jet season.
Thank you. You have a good night too.
Okay. Bye-bye, Mark.
Bye-bye.